G'day everybody, I'm the Red Scar, this is Red Scar Gaming. Today is my summary of my 8th draft of Outlaws of Thunder Junction, and I did pretty well with this one actually. I think sort of the best I've done with, well, statistically at least, with Outlaws of Thunder Junction. I was playing Golgari, a pretty heavy creature deck, creature heavy and heavy creature to be honest. Yeah, it was not quite mono green, but I probably could have got away with just having green cards in here, or drawing forests or whatever, but yeah, as per normal, I'll go through this deck card at a time and sort of do a quick summary of how everything went. Corrupted Conviction, I didn't get much of a chance to use actually, I think partly because I was on the aggressive generally, so Corrupted Conviction you tend to use more if you're on the defensive. But yeah, look, it's still a card I'd go with in a similar situation. I suppose I probably didn't need it, but I mean that's just maybe because I did so well, didn't I? Yes. Ankle Biter is is a pretty damn good card in the right circumstances because 1/1 Death Touch can kill basically anything. So yeah, it's a pretty good way to spend 1 mana, especially when you've got a lot of things that rely on how many creatures you've got. Like this next card, Trash the Town, which didn't get quite as much use as I was probably hoping for, actually. Maybe it was just I drew it at the wrong time, or didn't use it until the right time, maybe. I suppose, just thinking maybe a little bit too long about it, maybe because I was doing pretty well going pretty wide, particularly the last mode on there. Yeah, drawing 2 cards was sort of, I didn't really need it that often. There was a few times I used put 2/1/1 counters on target creature, which I might have spared me a turn or got me a win a bit quicker maybe. But yeah, the second mode I don't think I used at all actually, though I could be mistaken. Though yeah, once again it might just be because I got the right creatures at the right time or something. I think with the power of hindsight, I don't. Excuse me. I think in with the power of hindsight that given this basically exact situation, I probably wouldn't grab Trash the Town again, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just luck. Aloe Alchemist. I think it was a pretty good example actually of using plot effectively. Because there was a couple of times that I got him, played him whether it was turn 2 or 3 or something like that, that I just needed a 3/2 creature, even sort of forget the trample aspects of it. Though there were several times that I used him as essentially a combat trick, which, yeah, might not have won me the game in that particular circumstance, but it's a good use of Aloe Alchemist, I think, because yeah, you can make one of your creatures that you need to be bigger, and then play him even if he's a chomp blocker next turn, sort of thing. So yeah, I think he's pretty useful, and I'd probably use him in a similar situation again. Yeah, because you can basically play him as a combat trick, so but he's still good as a creature, if not amazing, but yeah, he's still good as a creature. Dance of the Tumbleweeds, I didn't actually get as much use out of as I probably hoped for, maybe. I did get a little bit of use out of Grab Target Desert, mainly. I think it was only, was it 1 or 2 games maybe that I got the Elemental out, which is pretty effective, but in this particular set of circumstances, it might just not have worked, but maybe it was just I drew enough land anyway, so I didn't really need it as much, maybe. Hard Bristle Bandit. I didn't get as much use out of him as I probably hoped for. There was a few games that I did, but if memory serves, I didn't exactly say play him turn 2 and then play Map of the Frontier turn 3 or something like that. There was one game though, actually, I did exactly that. That was game 7, I think. So in that particular circumstance, I think I did quite well. I was very happy with that. but yeah, maybe I didn't really need Hard Bristle Bandit. Maybe. Yeah, don't know. He certainly is better when you can commit crimes more effectively, more often. But yeah, he's good. But yeah, maybe not as useful as I wanted him to be. Voracious Varmint, I stand by it. It's still pretty damn good card. That yeah, sure, you're not going to win any games out of it. It's a 2/2, but it's very reliable with the whole vigilance thing. And even if you only attack with him once or twice or something, he still does that little bit of damage. There was a few times that I got to sack him, destroy target artifact or enchantment. In fact, I think it was game 5 or 6 maybe, that I basically attacked with all my creatures. One of my opponents blocked the varmint, and so I sacrificed him to destroy target enchantment, I think. But like that, in that particular circumstance, I suppose it's a bit. I'm going wide. You get to choose something. You the opponent gets to choose something to kill. If you choose this, I'm gonna take out one of your threats anyway. So he's very useful and a pretty good way to spend 2 mana, I reckon. Ornery Tumblewag, I actually did get some pretty damn good use out of. I didn't ever saddle him, unless I'm misremembering, but there were several games where he basically sat there and did nothing as far as attack defense, but yeah, he certainly buffed a lot of my creatures. I wouldn't say that he exactly won me any games because of him, though I think there was a few times actually that I had probably Cactarantula out actually, and had Ornery Tumblewag out, whether it was earlier or later, but turned one of my other creatures into the blocker. I think it was mostly the blocker actually. So yeah, Ornery Tumblewag was very useful in this deck. Outcaster Greenblade, not quite as useful as I was hoping for, I think. Game 2, 3, I did get use out of him, and there was a few times that he was a 4/5, I remember actually, which was good, very good for 3 mana. Yeah, I'd probably draft him again. In fact, like he's an uncommon, so he's a bit harder to get than Dance of the Tumbleweeds. But I would much rather outcast a Greenblade instead of Dance of the Tumbleweeds, at least in this deck. But yeah, look, there's a lot of different opinions you can have on this deck. Honest Rutstein, I've used him more effectively in other decks before, though he certainly wasn't useless. I've used him before in. I'm not even sure if it was a draft that I had on YouTube, but I used him where I had, I think it was 3 of him in my deck, and it was basically an Honest Rutstein deck with creatures, may contain traces of other creatures, and in that particular case, it was more I could sack creatures with Honest Rutstein. I keep mispronouncing his name anyway. With this guy on the board. In that sort of sense, I was sort of hoping that I could do that with him, but yeah, maybe didn't really get as much use out of him as I wanted. Maybe I'm still happy with him though, so I'd probably go this guy again. Yeah, in this sort of deck, but yeah, as I said before, I could have maybe gone mono green, but I suppose you should always splash a second color at least. Boneyard Desecrator, still happy with, but I didn't get as much use out of him as I probably wanted in this particular draft. I would actually put it down to probably just bad luck, actually. Not like I lost the game because he was at the bad time or something. Just I didn't really have anything I needed to sacrifice, I think, to press advantage or win the game or something. So I'm sure there was a few times I sacked a creature, but I would say that this particular draft, Boneyard Desecrator was not my strongest point. Certainly is still a good way to spend 4 mana though, so yeah, I'll go with him again. Map the Frontier, I didn't get. Actually, did I only play him once? I might have only played Map the Frontier once, but yeah, didn't get as much use out of him as I probably wanted. Still a pretty damn good card for 2 mana though, so I would keep it. Though, just keep in mind, you do have to be a bit careful with him that even if you get him with some extra ramp, like say turn 1 land, turn 2 hard bristle bandit, turn 3 map the frontier, which actually I think is where I got the use out of him, you're still not doing anything the turn you play him if you're on curve. So you do have to be a little bit careful, but he's still good. I'd still probably keep him. Rise of the Varmints, I probably didn't get as much use out of him as I'd sort of hoped for. I suppose, maybe in hindsight, knowing that was in the deck or even in my hand at the time, I should have been a little bit more sack my creature for whatever that purpose was, whether it's as a chump blocker or who cares about what I lose in this attack sort of thing, because I have Rise of the Varmints. Maybe, but all that would do, I think, is help me go wide, is basically what that would have done. I did plot it a few times, but I don't think I played it very often. I think most of the time I did play it, which it might have only been once, I got 2 creatures or something and ended up being chump blockers, so it's sort of good on the defensive, I suppose, which I suppose it's good to have at least one good thing on the defensive, but maybe Honest Rutstein is better in that sense. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about should I have drafted that, but anyway, I'll think about it a bit more. Overzealous Muscle, as I said during the draft, it's sort of just the big dumb creature, and I need at least one of those, though I suppose in hindsight I probably didn't need any more than that. I probably could have dropped him with the power of hindsight, but he's certainly good when he works, but he's still just a 5/4 dumb creature otherwise. So yeah, I'm not unhappy with him, but yeah, I'll think about it a bit more. Spinewood's Paladin, there was a few times that I think game 4, I think it was, that I was all but dead, but then playing him gave me that extra turn, which might not have necessarily won me the game because of the gain life or something, but that combined with Trample was actually pretty interesting because you play him turn 5, you get that extra turn as I was sort of saying, but then you can attack, sort of who cares if he dies, because if that's the last little bit of damage you need to do to kill your opponent, then he worked very well. So he's probably, in this particular case, he's probably mana for mana the best creature spell I had in this deck. Excuse me if I'm being a bit too philosophical, but yeah, he was good. I don't think I plotted him this draft, but yeah, might keep that in mind for next time. Full Steam Ahead though, that all but by itself won 3-4 games actually. I drew that fairly often. There was a few times that I did play it and sure didn't win that turn, but I did a lot of damage and basically won that turn. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. And in fact, I did. I don't know if I sort of mentioned it at the time, but while I was drafting, Full Steam Ahead was basically the reason that I have so many creatures in this deck. Which just remind me, I've got 6 non-creatures, 17 creatures. So I suppose if I was to lean on that a bit more, I'd probably get rid of Corrupted Conviction and maybe even trash the town to put in 2 creatures. And I suppose with Full Steam Ahead as well, if I was able to do that, maybe even get some mana ramp or look for land or something, so I could get more creatures out, maybe. Yeah, clutching at straws there a little bit, but yeah, the +2/+2, well, it's a very powerful card regardless of how you read it, really. +2/+2 is good, Trample's good, this creature can't be blocked by more than 1 creature is good. All of those for 5 mana is pretty much game winner, as I would use this draft as an example to convince you. Ambush Gigapede, didn't get as much use out of it as I have before using it. Might just be, just sort of bad situation or something, but he certainly didn't do badly, but I don't think he was really worth 6 mana in this particular case, so maybe that's an example of keeping green just for green rather than Ambush Gigapede, though it probably would have kept at least one, because if he does work, he really does work. Cactarantula, I played a few times actually. I think it was game, I forget what game it was, but yeah, that I was talking about before I went. Turn 2, Bandit, turn 3, Map the Frontier, turn 4, Cactarantula, which, yeah, on turn 4 is pretty damn good spell. So, yeah, I'm still happy with him. There's a few times that I got to utilize the whole, when he becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, I may draw a card, which I'm yet to see be particularly good, but it's, how do I phrase this? It's sort of, it's a good way of basically replacing itself. So your opponent goes, even if it's like murder or whatever, destroy target creature, I draw a card anyway. So okay, while it doesn't balance it out, it certainly doesn't make me cry if I lose Cactarantula, and I do. And actually, sort of looking through it a bit, I'm glad I have Cactarantula in there because I don't think I've got any other flying or reach. Just have a quick look, correct me if I'm wrong, but I suppose I didn't really need it. Protection from flying, I mean, but still, it's good. Oh, that's right, I do have one other reach. Spinewood's Armadillo. I keep forgetting that has reach. It's just a very big armored mouse thing. And yes, I know it's not an armored mouse, but anyway, yeah, reach, pretty damn good ability in draft, which I do keep using. And 7/7 for 6 is always good. I didn't discard him at all. Maybe that was good luck, or maybe call it bad luck even if you want, but he did well. There was a few times I got to attack with him, and it was my opponent just basically sacked a 1/1 creature or whatever to not take 7 damage, but look, he still did some damage, so yeah, I'll definitely draft him again in a similar situation. Land-wise, yeah, I'm happy with how that went, though I suppose I could have probably, in hindsight, maybe have even dropped a swamp for a forest, just to be a little more sure that I had all the green I needed, but yeah, I didn't really need it, especially seeing as I had several ways to find Festering Gulch, which gets me whatever colour this deck needs. So yeah, I'm happy with the lands, but let's see how my sideboard went. Outlaw Medic, yeah, look, I definitely wouldn't have splashed white for it. It's not really a win con, it helps, but it's not worth splashing white for in this case. Failed Fording, Razzle Dazzler, and Seize the Secrets. Look, if I had to go any blue in this, I suppose Seize the Secrets would be the one I would go with. Because I was thinking at some stage, might have even just been first pack, but that I was splashing blue for a little bit, and Seize the Secrets was about it. And I suppose if I kept the splash of blue, is that how you phrase it? I would have kept Seize the Secrets. Failed Fording is good in the situation of remove that one creature that will stop you from attacking and then attack, which I suppose is a good situation if you're going creature wide. But yeah, I stand by splashing blue wouldn't have been particularly good here. Fake Your Own Death is good in the right circumstances, but because I was going comparatively mono green, I think I'm happy with it being one of the cards that I didn't leave in. Though I suppose maybe instead of Corrupted Conviction. Not many situations jump to mind where I really needed that creature still, but yeah, I can't remember all 8 games just off the top of my head. Raven of Fell Omens wouldn't have gone well in this particular draft because I needed to commit crimes, and actually, do I even have any crimes in this deck? I don't think I do, but anyway. Rakish Crew. I didn't have enough outlaws for this card to be useful. Yeah, so I'm glad I didn't draft that one. Highway Robbery, yeah, definitely not splashing red for this card. Ankle Biter is one maybe that I could have put in probably instead of Trash the Town, actually. Though, yeah, once again, Corrupted Conviction is maybe what I should have gone. Yeah, though, Ambush Gigapede as well is not a bad card as far as, yeah, putting Ankle Biter in. I'm still not a fan of Free Strider Commando. I know it's not the worst. I definitely prefer Spinewood's Paladin over the Commando. But it does have its moments, and was it in this draft or one of my casual games aside? But yeah, I saw someone use it very effectively, actually. But yeah, I still stand by that. I don't think it's worth the whole plot. Then play it later. Lonely Araya, yeah, of course I wouldn't have played it. Sourwood Springs, if I was splashing blue, is definitely a good card to have. And Lush Oasis for similar situations. And Lava Spur Boots, yeah, is a good card, but not in draft. I think. Look, well, I'm sure some of you have had good experience with it, but yeah, I haven't personally. Though maybe I just should try it and I'll be convinced otherwise. So I suppose overall, I'm pretty happy with that deck. Though, yeah, the only thing I might change is say Corrupted Conviction instead. Yeah, Corrupted Conviction or Trash the Tower. Probably Trash the Tower, or even Rise of the Varmints, maybe. To replace it with Ankle Biter. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that'll be my final opinion. Apart from that doesn't look like a dangerous creature. It looks like a weird creature. But anyway, yeah, I would go Ankle Biter instead of Rise of the Varmints in this circumstance. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed watching. I certainly enjoyed playing, and yeah, learn from my draft, learn from my mistakes, and I'll learn from mine as well. Hopefully, we'll both get better. Thanks for watching. See you next time.